Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to From Heroes to Icons. I'm Jason. This is the 8th part of our Batman Hush tag event, where I will be reviewing the 8th part of Hush, which is Batman number 615, right here in the middle. Got the book before it and the book after it. And this has been such a cool event so far. Great reviews. First time really doing a tag review like this. It should be pretty dope. We know that Batman Hush, if you have watched the other reviews, is written by Jeph Loeb and penciled by Jim Lee and inked by his favorite Scott Williams, of course. I have both hardcovers here. This is part 1 and this is part 2, which I will be leafing through as I talk to this. And definitely one of the best Batman stories that I have read. Can't complain really at all about it. In this issue, things slow down a little bit. We get a closer examination of the relationship between Batman and Nightwing, and a little bit of Catwoman in there also. But glad to be a part of this, so stay tuned. All right, we're going to attempt to do this the best way we can. Got an awkward camera situation here, but here is the front cover of Batman 615. Yes, I believe that's what I'm doing. This is pretty dope. In these hardcover trade paperbacks or whatever, they don't have the numbers. This is the one that we're covering, 615, Batman and Nightwing on the cover. And very much so, this book covers a very deep look at Batman and Nightwing's relationship. You know, Thomas Elliot, the surgeon that fixed Batman's head in this storyline, was shot dead, presumably by the Joker, or so we are led to believe. And it opens up with the funeral here, and Bruce Wayne is given some words, eulogy or whatever, at the gravesite. And throughout this series, they have had some really nice flashbacks by Jim Lee, and it is done in a very stark, binary type of color, and all done in watercolor, very reminiscent of his work to me that he did on Death Blow, kinda Frank Miller-esque, but less heavy blacks and more with the colors that he's working with. Of course, you know, he's reminiscing on when he first met Tom and such things when they were playing. They was used to play in a graveyard. Who knew, you know what I mean, that the same spot where they used to play, he would be buried in. Saying that he used to lived in Philly or something like that, but he wanted to live in Gotham. We got here, I think Thomas Elliott's chauffeur, Dick Grayson, and what's my boy named Tim Drake. And they've never, obviously Dick has seen Bruce like this, but Tim's like, yo, man, I ain't never even seen this dude talk like this, which is kind of cool, and how he's thinking to himself as he's speaking Bruce, of how no one is there except for Bruce Wayne's people. The only people really there, besides his working colleagues that was close to Thomas Elliot, is the chauffeur. And we hear again in the middle, we get a flashback of their first actual meeting in school. And we got this little chess piece here. He wanted to know if Bruce can play. Bruce said he was better than him. And here we have Lucius Fox, Selena Kyle, and Leslie Tompkins. Again, all of Bruce's people here supporting him as he's burying his friend. He's thinking to himself, reminiscing on his relationship with Selena. Really like Selena Kyle with the short hair here. Jim Lee just kills it. He gets the mood perfectly. And with the flashbacks, how he's using different colors. He has the red hair with the death of his parents, the blue hair with him and Tommy playing hide and seek, and their first meeting here done in purple. Wonderful. He finishes pretty much the eulogy, Captain, my captain, Selena Kyle hates it, but that's what one of Bruce Wayne's greatest readings or what have you. And as he's going through the reading, he's reminiscing on Thomas' mother died. He was in France, obviously, doing his Batman thing. I think, no, when he got his license as a medical surgeon, he wasn't there. He was off in France. When Tommy's mother died of cancer, he was doing the ninja thing in Japan. He was never there for his friend, unfortunately. And here we get the little splash page, 8th chapter of Hush, called The Dead. Me personally, I call it The Details. And I'm going to attempt, on my reading glasses here, I'm going to attempt to read this extremely small fine print here that Jeph, Loeb and company have put here. I made a promise to the grave of my parents to rid the city of the evil that took their lives. By day, I am Bruce Wayne, billionaire philanthropist. At night, criminals, a cowardly and suspicious lot, call me, and they got it right here, Batman, created by Bob Kane. Really nice introduction. Got the rain falling, black everywhere, and the crying angel at Thomas Elliot's grave. Flips over, now we're in the Batcave. Batman's doing his thing, trying to find out what was going on. The computer is kind of in a loop, going over the death of Thomas Elliot, his gunshot wound, etc., saying that the Joker had killed him. Batman doesn't believe it so. Nightwing comes in right into the middle of the hologram. Probably pisses Batman off. Been talking to you for a minute. He's like, yeah, I've been listening. They have their little conversation. He's trying to get the Batman like, listen, you know what I mean? Like, everybody know you're the brute or whatever. You shouldn't be so pissed. You got the Joker. You know what I mean? He's like, the Joker didn't do it. Have to say the stark blacks that Jim Lee uses in certain spots, outstanding. And then we have just the only color really is Nightwing and the holographic projection. Really, really dope. So Nightwing's confused. Know that the Joker didn't do it. He was like, nah, we was just made to believe. And he runs down pretty much, if you've been following this review, Killer Croc, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Superman, and now the Joker is mixed up in these shenanigans that's going on that has caused his friend to get killed. You know what I mean? Batman and Nightwing really trying to have a heart-to-heart. It's not working. You know what I mean? But Nightwing makes a joke. Maybe they can keep the Joker locked up for longer than an hour and a half. And as they're talking, Oracle jumps in. And he's like, does she have to listen to everything? And Batman's like, you know better than me. Oh, Nightwing Batgirl relationship going on there. Find out that the Riddler has hijacked an armored car with 11 mil in it. Decide to go after him. Nightwing's like, maybe this might clear your head. And he's like, let's take the car. And Nightwing's like, which one? And we get a beautiful double page spread of the Batcave with dozens of Batmobiles. I don't know all of them. I'm not even going to try. We know we got the Batman the Animated Series car here. One of the old school Batman with the bat head battering ram in the front. We got the 1960s Batmobile right here, which probably all the old school cats love. And of course, we have the Michael Keaton Batman 89 Batmobile here. Super dope. This right here really shows the depth of Jim Lee's ability not to just draw superheroes, but the depth of structure on how we get a 2-point perspective. One going this way shows the depth of the Batcave and one going this way, showing almost like a round shuttle type thing of where all the Batmobiles are lined up in like a air hangar type setting here. Very nice. So they're off, and yo, Nightwing's crazy. You talking to Batman about his relationship with Catwoman for the whole ride. He's telling me like, yo, regardless of what's going on, I'm glad to see you in a relationship. You know, maybe you should tell her who you are or whatever. You know, he's like, I know it's none of my business. And Batman's like, yeah, it's none of your business. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Beautiful shot of Gotham City right here. Batman is just all over the place. Really kind of cool thing with the headlights. It makes the bat symbol on the ground. Nice little added touch right there from Jim Lee. We get the Joker here with his minions talking trash. All of a sudden, Batman engages the battering ram. Lights out for the Joker and his crew. And immediately, they jump into action. And pretty much right now, this is Nightwing's show right here. Batman doesn't even fight any of the thugs. He doesn't even try to. He just lets Nightwing jump into action. And I like this inner monologue that Batman has, primarily because we get a look at Dick Grayson as Nightwing from Batman's perspective. And he's just saying, you know, how he cared for him and wanted to bring him up and all of that. And should he have done it? He was like, yeah, Nightwing, Dick Grayson was born for this. And before I jump away from this, I'm going to have to look at this panel real quick. The cleats at the bottom of Nightwing shoes. Nice little added thing here. If you look at his left hand, there's lines here. I'll go to the next page and show you that. Nightwing is doing his best impersonation of Daredevil here without the heightened senses. And Riddler's millions just flying all over the place. Next page, of course, you know, Batman's watching the Riddler bounce while he's enjoying Nightwing just doing his thing. Again, I think I'm going to read this little bit right here. Ooh, hit the camera. Sorry, y'all. It says, and while at times the transition from Robin to Nightwing was difficult for us both, it was a day I had long prepared myself for because Dick was born to be the center of the ring. Giving a little shout out to the circus in which Dick Grayson came from. But right here, we see Jim Lee. Nice panel here of Nightwing just trussing up all of the minions of the Riddler. But as you can see, there is a line going across his wrist here in a little fold in the break in the shadow that shows Nightwing has gloves on, although it attaches kind of to his onesie, that it is separate. Just a nice little detail right there I thought was pretty dope. And apparently he never catches the Screamer stick from when he threw it before. He throws it, although it bounces, and he has one, and he catches the one in his right hand. I guess in between the panels, he hits somebody with the left one, and he doesn't have it in his hand anymore. Now both Screamer sticks are gone. Pretty dope. Riddler on the run, losing his money within the sewers. Comes up, he thinks he's home free. Of course, Batman is waiting for him. And we get some more in a monologue from Batman, how this is like a ridiculous thing. Like the Riddler should Ben had retired because he does the same nonsensical things. And even the riddle that he left was kind of whack compared to the riddles that the Riddler would usually leave. Nightwing asks him, does he need help? He says no. Batman puts on a little infrared goggles on to his cowl, and he seems to have picked up a detail that there is ash inside the armored car, and it is Ash from the Lazarus Pit. That's one thing I did like about the story. Even though it's kind of self-contained and continuing from the last issue, we get a little bit of what is going to occur in the next issue. And now we got like a flipping over from Arkham to a zoo where Catwoman is at the zoo, and of course the Joker is at Arkham Asylum. His lawyer comes, tells him he's getting out of there. And he's like, yo, I know I'm crazy, but I'm not going with a dude with bandages on his face. The dude, we all know that there are very few lawyers connected with the villains of Gotham. He takes off the bandages. The Joker's like, Two-Face? He's like, nah, not Two-Face anymore. He's Harvey Dent, and he's going to finish what he has started. Now, from this right here, we're believing that Harvey Dent is Hush as of right now. So, be that as it may, that it is what it is. And here, Batman meets Catwoman at the zoo, and she's like, you know, this is the first time you really come looking for me. And she kind of likes it. He's, you know, and Batman's saying that he needs to open up to her, you know, some people in my life. And she was like, oh, well, which one of the little birds told you? The little one or the big one? He was like, Nightwing. So he reveals his identity to Selina Kyle. The Joker is just astonished that Hush is his lawyer and also Harvey Dent. And Catwoman just loves it, tells Batman that he needs a shave and a shower. And it was kind of funny because during the ride to intercept the Riddler, he was like, yo, if you tell her your secret identity, maybe you should shave first. And he was like, and Catwoman's like, you could find a razor and a bath wouldn't kill you. And he was like, Dick was right. I should have shaved. And of course, we have the next issue here. So that's that for that. Stay tuned for the rest of the review. Now that we have gone through the book and we have seen what's next up for Batman and Company, and it's very revealing just how extended Batman's family is, due to the fact that he didn't have any parents and any brothers or sisters like that. But anyway, for this review, I am using Metarog, Mr. Miracle, and Genome's way of grading the book, or reviewing it, I'll say. And my guys over at Graders Notes, I'm using theirs. Really don't review books too much or whatever. So in Graders Notes, they go over the cover, the interiors, the story, the concept, and they give it an overall grade. Definitely, most likely I'm going to just grab this right here, starting with the cover. Me personally, this is a 5. They grade it, you know, on a scale from 1 to 5. It gets 5 stars or a 10. Personally, seeing this, the city skyline in the background, Batman, I was about to call him Robin, Batman and Robin, Batman and Nightwing running through the city on the rooftops. Definitely whatever Batman movie, cartoon, music comes to your mind, definitely comes to mind when you look at this cover. Of course, we know Jim Lee's perspective, overall use of the anatomy, structure, costume, etc. is always on point. To me personally, besides I think his Uncanny X-Men run, this is some of his best work. I think maybe the only modern work that he has done that can stand up to this is maybe the work that he did on Superman when he worked with Brian Azzarello. But definitely this cover here gets a 5 from me. So story-wise, we're looking at the continuation of Hush. And here, after his friend obviously got killed or whatever, things slow down a little bit, and we get a more fine-tuned look at Batman's emotional state, how he interacts primarily with Nightwing, how he views the entire investigation, and his relationship with Catwoman. I mean, aside from I think how quickly they dealt with the Riddler or whatever, it's pretty good. I give it a 4 just because it was slowed down. And then I guess for some people, it would be odd how quickly he dealt with revealing himself to Selena Kyle. She didn't really care, it seems like. But those who are reading modern Batman books, obviously we know where that is headed or where it didn't head. So the story, for me, gets a 4. Skip the interiors, which that's fine. But show you some more stuff again. Just definitely pure fire. The interiors, of course, there's very few that can do what Jim Lee does. He is a master of anatomy and cartoon art. But he shows himself a true master here. We get to see the Batcave again with all the different Batmobiles. His use of how the characters move gives them motion. The backgrounds, of course, obviously everybody always complains about the comic book artists not using backgrounds and such. But Jim Lee really kills it to me. The colors on the reprints are very good. Going too far there. But definitely a book that shows itself. Whoops. Super glare. Fire. Right here. And of course, Jim Lee's one of my top 10. Interiors, enough said, gets a 5. And personally, for the overall, I like the pacing of the story as it went. As I was rereading this, definitely getting some nostalgia, remembering how I felt when I first read this issue. Love the Nightwing Batman dynamic, how Jeph Loeb really brought out from the father-son thing with them, and it was dope. How he looks at the different villains, how Batman analyzes things. It was dope. Everything overall, I give this a 5 out of 5. Definitely looking forward to the next review. Comic Estate is doing part 9. He'll be reviewing issue 616. Make sure you go over there and see him. And as pretty much I'm going to have everybody that is part of this Hush tag event in the description. Make sure you go there. If you haven't subbed them, sub them up. And a shout out to Tylox The Mighty, who invited all of us here to do this review. And as always, my people, be great and do great. Peace.